Hey everybody, it's Jeff with Chief Classic Auto Sales. I got some real treats today. I got a 59 and 60 Bonneville convertibles that just rolled in. They've both been sitting since 1991 in a barn out in central Nebraska. So we are going to try our best to get them running and driving for the first time in over 30 years. Bought 7 cars from this fella. I've got content until Jesus comes back. Well, we got them inside without too much hassle. My neighbor, who likes me for some reason, helped me get them off the trailer last night, and much to my surprise, all of the tires except for the one that was in the front of this car held air, well, long enough to get it off the trailer at least, and none of the wheels were locked up. They surprisingly moved quite well. Now, I can't even put into words how excited I am to do something with these two cars. They've both been sitting since '91. We bought, what was it, 7 cars from this estate. This is where that red 66 Grand Prix that we got running and driving came from. And we've got 4 more to go out and pick up. Now, there's probably going to be a video on each of those two. From what I've gathered, the previous owner of these cars bought, I think about 15 of them in the early 90s. Drove 2 of them, I think, and then the rest of them sat in the shed. One of them is halfway, I'm not going to say restored, it's tore apart and had half of the bodywork done, but then for some reason they weren't able to get patch panels for it anymore. So they kind of abandoned the project, and I've got to bring that one home too, and it's in 100 pieces. As you can tell, they both sat in the barn for probably the entirety of that time. You should have seen the dust coming off of these things as we pulled out onto the highway. I mean, it was at least a 1/4 inch thick, and honestly, I can't believe that the convertible tops made it all the way back home the 2.5 hours. So let's get a closer look at this 59 Bonneville. There's a little bit of body damage in this front corner here. That bumper got kind of buckled and pushed up into the front fender. Bowed it out a little bit there. The bottom of the fender, it's got a dent here, a few bubbles back in this corner, but really it's not bad. The door, unfortunately, has a crease in it. Yeah, so does the quarter. It looks like there might be some, there's some putty down here. But the bottom of the rocker feels pretty straight. I don't think that the putty's very thick. It probably got hit down there or something at some point. Oh, maybe it was patched up, because this looks kind of goofy back here. There's some rust in the quarter, and then it's kind of caved in along here. You can see it took out that piece of trim. We got some paint flaking off, but there's a couple layers of paint. That's why. It doesn't really look like it's full of Bondo up on top of the quarter. The trunk lid looks nice. Of course we don't, we do still have a back window, but that fell in. The trunk won't shut, but it made it. Check out these back bumpers on these cars. That is just wild. And the quarter panel, holy cow, that is pretty. Bennett Motors, Great Falls. How cool is that Chief emblem? My gosh. So we've got Colorado plates from December of '84 and a trailer hitch. Oh, are you gonna open? Barely. How ugly is this gonna be? I am not hopeful here. Oh, look at that. That tank might be new. Man, let's get my light out. That tank is clean. My gosh, this is gonna work. I can't hardly believe it. I can't even smell gas. That must have never had gas in it. We got an old State Farm sticker. 2 State Farm stickers. Gosh, that's gonna be okay. How could we get so lucky? That is so pretty. Is that red? Can't tell. Too much dust on it. So, back here, we still have a trunk floor. I think that's a tri-power thermostat housing. What is this? Oh, good. We've got skirts. What are you? We have two different sets of skirts. What do you fit, huh? Are these new? Those look brand new. These are skirts for this car. Oh my gosh, that's gonna look neat. Holy cow, we gotta stick those things on ASAP. So what are the other? Are these 59 skirts as well? 60. Cool, so we've got skirts for him too. Looks like we've got our back seat. Holy cow, I didn't know we had skirts. That's killer. The trunk pan looks really good. The lid is not bad, little dinged up right there, but not awful. I can't get over these fins on this car. Isn't that pretty? We've got a little bit of damage back here. Not bad. These things, that's super cool. It's a bummer that we're missing one, but oh well. We got the old Co-op snow tires. That's right. Be a good American. Was this top blue? No, that's probably just the inside of it. Top was originally white. We've got easy access to our top motor. Top goes down, price goes up. That section of quarter looks nice. That door looks good. I wonder if we can get a better look at what this paint would look like if it was shiny. Yeah, that's not bad. This thing's gonna look decent cleaned up. God, get a load of the way that door shuts. That fender's really good for some reason. It doesn't even look like it has damage on it. Wow. Colorado inspection sticker from '82. Hood looks straight from what I can tell. Yeah, look at that front end. Isn't that pretty? Big old Bonneville. What do we have in our interior? That is one snazzy door panel. I love this mid-century modern stuff. That is so pretty. We got a crank wing window. That just works flawlessly. Okay, there's our seat back. Piece of trim. I don't know what that's for. Yeah, the door cards in this thing are just killer. Just beautiful. Top's tied down. Okay. Rubber welders. You're looking at a good customer of OK Rubber Welders. Monte Vista, Colorado. Colorado car, eh? What is this? Volume control. Dual speaker switch. We got a switch for stereo. This was obviously mono originally. Look at the Pontiac script along the dash there. Wow, that is classy. Is this our ashtray? Clean, that's nice. Super deluxe stereo. Radio, I should say. Courtesy light. Can we get in here? Nothing. That's good, that's fine, we'll take it. Is this another ashtray? Look at this nifty little grab bar here. We got 2 ashtrays in this thing. What are our contents? Ooh, old beer tabs. What did we smoke? Oh, Band-Aids. We did not smoke Band-Aids. Wow. Got our keys. There's our top switch. Check out those fancy pedals. Park, neutral, drive, low, reverse is all the way to the right. We're not gonna let that bite us in the rear end again. Check out the big red light for the e-brake. Wow, these gauges are so cool. Shows 6,800 miles on him. So safe to say that is 106. We have some dummy lights with a clock in the center. 120 mile per hour speedo. Is this? Wow, we actually have a generator and a gas gauge. Wow, that steering wheel. Aside from the outer rim being cracked, the center of it is just in great shape. Look at that. You can see through it. Wow. Another courtesy light down there. What are these? That's probably headlights. What are you? Oh, wiper, I would guess. There's our heater. Very good. Very, very good. I love the mirror placement. Wow, that is so cool. Wonder if I have that door pull. Well, let's see what we got shaking under the hood, eh? Well, it looks fuzzy, but it looks complete. I have a feeling that this 4x4 is structural, judging by the fact that it will not move. How about antifreeze? Do we have any? No telling. The tanks are on the top and bottom, so we won't be able to tell. We got a nice little net in front of our radiator. That was thoughtful. What's going on up here? Battery hold down. Cool. Because obviously the battery's gone. That is like welding wire right there. Power steering, power brakes. We have a big honkin' mouse nest. How about oil? We have oil. We have an allowable amount of oil. Only about 2/3 of a quart low. I'll be. Well, let's get some hantavirus going on. What does it say under here? Ooh, we have a 4-barrel. We have the original Carter 4-barrel. Very nice. Everything looks complete. It looks decently clean. Yeah, I don't see anything that we're missing. It moves. Looks like we've got all of our linkage for our transmission pressure. I believe this has the Roto Hydromatic automatic 4-speed. I believe, don't quote me. Wonder what that big old soup can over there is for. Is that a vacuum reservoir? I think so. Yeah, it's got a big old honkin' vacuum line going to it. Wow, I bet that's just gonna work tremendously. Okay, well, here's the question. Does it spin? Now is the crank spinning? The crank is spinning. Yeah, we got movement, boys. This thing's gonna talk. Well, can you believe that? Okay, that's great news. Oh, it's already leaking oil. That might be gas. I don't know, we'll find out. All right, now let's study the 60. Front end looks pretty straight. We've got peeling on our front bumper, which is to be expected. Broken headlight, that's getting pretty thin. That's just from age. Check out the gold script Bonneville. That is class right there. We've got a Minnesota plate from '79 with another plate behind it. It's another Minnesota plate. Oh, let's break that. Yeah, good idea, Jeff. I can't get to it. I don't want to hurt anything. Hood looks straight. Check this out. That's cool. Yeah, the dust on here is thick. We got some kitty prints. That must have happened overnight. Yeah, we've got a little bit of mud up here. It's hard telling if that was from rust or collision. It doesn't look very thick. Yeah, we've got a couple layers of paint. Some plastic there. Those tires are too cool. Those are the tires that were on it when we got it. We got some rust down low in this quarter with some putty. It is what it is. Big old Bonneville emblem. Our rockers are thin. Door looks good. Door looks really nice. Check out the curves on him. The top is a little more there than it is on the 59. These are cool. Look at that. We got a little rust in the back corner. The bottom of it feels good. A little rust above here. Not bad. Wow. Those tail lights, man. Isn't that sweet? It's like an afterburner and a double barrel shotgun at the same time. Trunk lid's a little chewy. Little soft. Check out the big gold Bonneville letters. And these back bumpers on these cars are so cool. Minnesota 79. What do you say? AAA Minneapolis. Should have guessed there'd be a AAA sticker on here somewhere. That's how you open, huh? Okay, how stinky are you gonna be? Yeah, it's looking a little fuzzy. Oof, yeah. That one needs taken out. That one needs a date with the car wash. But man, look at those lines. We got some rust in the tail pan here. It's a 64-year-old car. Some paint flakage. I don't know what caused that. That quarter's really good. Just a little bit of a dinger here, but it's solid. This thing is really clean. Relatively speaking, I mean, you know. That quarter's really good. How about the door? The door looks nice. Oh, come on. That was holding us up. Good, good. That's a neat mirror. This fender got some plastic. You can see probably where it was, a patch was welded right here. Oh well, I'm still quite pleased. All right, let's find the keys and get the trunk open. Not a whole lot shaking. I forgot that I was already in here. I threw the wheel off the front back here. Check out the red trunk cardboard. Isn't that snazzy? Let's see if we can get a better look at it. Oh yeah, floor's like that too. The wheel wells don't look awful. No, not bad at all. There could be some surprises under here. Yeah, it's looking a little crispy. Well, that's not metal though. That's cardboard. Oh, come on, don't rip. Yeah, this one's not quite as clean. It's there, but it's not as clean. Still, considering the age, I am happy. Yeah, our trunk lid's a little rough. But I'm gonna have fun finding another. Ooh, I do have another 60, but I don't want to mess up our color. Okay, interior, what do you look like? Not as pretty of a door panel, but still very, very cool. Oh, you're a little seized up. Bummer, we got a broken wing window. What do you say? I can't tell what it says. Service every 1,000? That can't be. Maybe it is, I don't know. Buckets. We've got the pretty 3-tone blue interior. Man, these door panels over here are just so plush. Look at these things. Anything? Anyone home? Oh man. Nope. I think these are for... Oh man, that's... Nope, that's not stuck. I thought those would be for like a courtesy light back here. Oh, maybe that's what that is. Maybe that's what that switch is for. Gold Bonneville speaker grill. We've got our parade cover, parade boot, whatever you want to call it, for the convertible top when it's folded down. Just look at those colors, man. That is so cool. And this big rubber floor mat, that's handy. Some Kodak film. Probably don't want to know what's on there. These buckets. My gosh. This is a snazzy car. Oh man, the dust. That door panel's not bad. The carpet's falling down, but the top of it's all right. Okay, let's dive in. This one has the same Pontiac script along the dashboard too. Also has this cool golden wood grain Bonneville emblem. It's got the little hand grab. Our pad's not really in its home anymore. Can we get you open? Huh, no glove box liner. That's fine, that's whatever. Anything in here? Nope. Empty ashtray. That's what we like to see. Another ashtray over here. Also empty. Bummer we're missing our knobs for our super deluxe AM radio. Top switch, heater controls. What do you say? Give me some insight here, huh? Irv's North Side Skelly. Where are you at, Irv? Bear with me, I can't read that. Something Minnesota showed, what was that, 629 of 74 and 16,000 miles. Oh. Yeah, we're at 16,000 miles now. Huh. Now you wouldn't, there's, no, this can't be 16,000 original miles, can it? I don't know, it's really hard to tell where on these pedals. I would guess that by the fact that it's been repainted and had bodywork done, it's 116. I'm not gonna try to blow smoke. That's another really pretty horn button. I love the wood grain on the dashboard. I am really excited to see the interior cleaned up. So we've got an oil and temp dummy light. We've got a gauge for a generator, a clock, park neutral drive, low reverse. Snazzy. We got a knee knocker windshield. Still cool. Man, I love this gauge cluster. That is so pretty. 120 mile per hour speedo, just like the other one. Cool. Let's see what's shaking under the hood. This is a neat little styling cue. Here's our hood release. It's kind of hidden Oh, okay. Huh, looks like I've been here before. Judging by the fuel line coming out of the gallon jug. All in all, not bad though. Missing one of our breathers. What does our oil say? It is alarmingly clean. I would not be surprised if this thing had an oil change done and then was parked. I mean, that's what the sticker said. It's got literal just a couple miles on it since that sticker said it was last serviced. 79. Huh. Oh, that's probably what that sticker said. That probably wasn't 74. That was probably a 79. A little bit cleaner than the other one. This hood insulation has got to go though. We've got the same can over there, the vacuum can. We've got power brakes, power steering again. A little bit of rot down here. Not bad. You probably won't be able to tell anything in this radiator either. Gotta try though. Oh, can't see anything. What does the tag say? Hansard Pontiac. Guaranteed radiator protection warranty. Oh, please give us a date. Valid until... I can't tell. That's really cool though. I can't believe it's still on there. Well, what do we got under the lid? This one looks decently clean. But I still would not say that it's a 16,000 mile car. All right. Another Carter 4. We know how to work on those. Locked up? Nope. Opens and closes nicely. Our ignition system looks nice and original. Sweet. I don't know what this cap right here in the center is. Let me know if you know that. I know these are idle mixture, but I'm not sure what the center one does. I guess I could look it up, but who does that anymore? It's really cool that these A-arms are serviceable. They've got grease zerks on them. That's neat. All right, here's the question. Do you turn? Oh yeah, you can hear those valves moving. Okay, good. Well, we need to start pulling some plugs out and getting these motors soaked down. Let's work on that. I can't believe they turn after sitting this long. That's great. That radiator's not even green. This is gonna be okay. This is gonna fly. Looks like somebody, yeah, they unhooked our gas line for us already and are running into that jug. Okay. Oh man, with that generator there, it's gonna be a bearcat to get to that spark plug, but oh well, we'll figure it out. Let's get to it. Boy, look how fuzzy this motor is. That thing has been leaking for some time. Oh my, yeah, it is thick. Huh, wonder what that is. Oh well. So the first thing we need to do, we gotta get rid of that and that and that, because we don't want all that stuff to get sucked into the carburetor once it fires. If it fires, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But I want to kind of preface all this by saying that if you're gonna get a car started that's sat a long time, you really don't want to try to force the engine over. I mean, we were able to turn it just by putting our hands on the fan, and there was not much resistance. So if I did get any resistance when I was trying to turn it over, what I would probably do is pull the plugs out and let it sit with oil in it for a week. But since it turns nice and easily, we're just going to pull the plugs out, shoot some oil in there, and then hopefully we can get the engine to turn over and spit all that oil out. So that's going to help us seal our rings, because you really don't want to score up your cylinders on when they've been dry like this, and there could be a little bit of you know, surface rust on surface of the cylinder. I haven't seen this before. Check out this heat shield that must protect the exhaust manifold from the power steering pump hoses. That's pretty cool. This is the only year that I've ever seen it on. Let's see if the 60 has that. No, the 60 does not. Yeah, 59 must have been the last year for it. I think they started making these V8s in 55, don't quote me. But the 55 that we have does not have that little panel, so that's interesting. So all in all, I'm really happy and surprised how these plugs look. As you can see, maybe, focus. There's not a ton of carbon on them. They're obviously black, but they're not like oil fouled or anything, and there's no rust on them. So I feel pretty good about the health of this engine. These are old AC Delco, just number 45s. I've just learned that the replacement part number for that is R45S. So if you're looking for or if you're working on one of these, don't go asking for a 45 because they're gonna give you Autolite 45s. And the Autolite 45s are tapered, they are not washered, so it's a completely different spark plug. So since we already know this engine turns and we're not worried about breaking it free, we're going to use this aerosol Stabil fogging oil. And that is going to help us get a nice coat on hopefully all of the cylinder and piston surfaces so that everything can be good and saturated when we go to actually crank on this thing. And we should probably do a couple full revolutions by hand before we decide to hook a battery up to it. Geez, can I even do this one-handed? We'll go for an easy one right now. I'm just gonna get my spaghetti straw in my cylinder hole through my spark plug hole, I should say, and give it a blast. How do you run these things? There you are. And we don't need enough, or a lot, I should say, just enough to try to get oil on all of the surfaces. Do a little twist and rinse and repeat. All right, all of our cylinders got a drink. We've got a little yellow dot down there on our balancer. So let's watch it and spin. Oh man, that is a tight spot right there. Let's see if we can go backwards and get past it. Backwards is good for now. There we go. We're able to rock it past the tight spot. Yeah, there's a few tight spots. There's our mark again. So we've got one complete revolution going backwards. Yeah, this is a lot better. We just missed our mark. Yep, there it is again. So that was 2 revolutions backwards. Yeah, there's the tight spot there. It's getting better though. Our valves could be a bit sticky. There's our mark. So we went around 3 times in reverse. Let's go for forward. Helps to push on the belts, give you a little more tension. There it is, there's one. There's 2. There's 3. I feel a lot better about hooking a starter to it now. Do we have both of our cables? Looks like it. Sweet. Well, let's put the winch battery on it and see what the heck. I don't know what it is with people putting red negative cables on these cars, but here we meet again. Got our positive on there. Now our negative. Let's see if anything lights on fire. I don't hear any noise. I didn't see any sparks. Is there a key in it? Oh my gosh. Our light in our glove box works. All right. Got them in park. Key on. Got our cold light. Excuse me. Our gas gauge came on. Lights. I don't know if I have lights or not. Oh well. Let's give this a whirl. Ooh, first. Important things. Radio. Nope. No radio. How sad. Alright, let's try ignition. No, we got our hot light comes on when we hit the ignition. Wonder if we just have a bad connection. Oh, press those on a little harder. Try it again. Nope, not neutral. Oh yes, there we are. Can we get it turned over and park again? Yeah, we just had to wake our contact surfaces up, I guess. How about that shit? Can I say that on YouTube? I don't know. Fan? We have a fan. And it stays on. Wow. That's just outstanding. I want to know if we have lights though. Not yet. Fronts? Got headlights? Maybe? No. I wonder if we're missing. No, our big wire that runs our cabin is hooked up. If it wasn't hooked up, the starter wouldn't have worked. Oh well, we tried. Man. That starter is hanging in there. I'm happy. All right, now for some ignition tune-up. Looks like we've got ourselves an external resistor on our 12-volt coil. Check this out. There's a little tube back here where you can actually oil the vacuum advance inside the distributor. That is pretty neat. That's back when everything was still serviceable. I'll get you pried off. I don't know if I can get my son of a gun screwdriver back here. Oh, nope. All right, we have our rotor off. So now we can see our points down here. Distributor moves nice and freely, and we can also grab the plate that the points ride on. That moves when the vacuum advance kicks in, and it seems to move pretty freely, so that's a good sign. We might oil it just for fun though, but let's put some points in this bad boy. Well, here's our points. You can see that the pads are a little fuzzy. We probably could have filed them, but they probably wouldn't have lasted long, and for what new points cost, you may as well replace them. Dug out our 54 to 63 Chilton's manual, so here we are. 1950 at 59 overhead valve V8. They just called it a V8 because all of these got the 389 engine, whether it be 2-barrel, 4-barrel, or 3 deuces. Spark plug type 45, so R45S, gap 35 thousandths, cam angle 30 degrees. I would guess that means the dwell angle. And then point gap 16 thousandths. That's the number that we needed. Later years they tended to go to 19 thousandths as a spec for everything, but these are 16, so we're going to set it at that. All right, everybody's favorite thing to do, adjust points. So we've got the little piece of our points that rides on this 8-sided shaft on the distributor. We've got it on the highest point, so the points are as far open as they're going to be. Take our 1/8 Allen wrench. I can never remember which direction we need to go. Looks like we have to turn it clockwise in order to lessen the gap between the points, because our points are way open right now. Little further, and then we'll see where we're at. Rule of thumb is typically the width of a business card. I know it's not very precise, but this looks really close. If we could get any more stuff in the way, that'd be nice. And you just want to barely be able to slide your feeler gauge in between the contacts without actually opening them. So that's just a little tight. We're gonna go back just a hair. That's good enough to run. We'll probably do it with a dwell meter after we get it running, and then we'll really dial it in. Great thing about these Pontiacs from a tune-up perspective is how easy it is to put one of these switches on here. You've got these terminals here on the fender. You put one side of it to your 12-volt wire, and then the other side of it, the other alligator clip, goes to your purple starter wire. Ignition on, contact. We've got it. Okay. Well, let's put some of these toys away and adjust some dwell. Remember, if you will, we need our dwell angle to be 30 degrees. So here's 8-cylinder mode. On top, we need to get that needle to 30. We're close, we're at 20 something. Man, we gotta give this a lot, don't we? Try again. You dirty so-and-so, there we are. Hot dog! Now let's look at our spark tester. I like that a lot more. Sweet, let's put plugs in this thing. As you can see, there is visual difference between the old ones and the new ones, but this is the new part number, so that's all that we can do about it. But on the old ones, look how far into the threads the electrode is. It doesn't even stick out. I have a feeling that might run just a little bit better with the new ones. Okay, so what's our points gap? 35 thousandths, and that's pretty much the norm for all plug gap, not points gap. That's pretty much the norm for all points ignition systems. Point systems were usually 35 thousandths and HEIs were typically 45. So how close do we think these things are from the get-go? They're usually pretty close. Oh yeah, 30 and change. Stick them at 35. Let's throw them in. Life hack. for these hard to reach spots, take an old boot, stick that on the plug, and use that to fish it clear down in there. I'll see if I can do this on camera or not. Probably not, but... Ooh, did we? We're home. We're home. All right, plug wires are on. We've got our carb filled with 40-to-1 chainsaw gas. Let's give it a whirl. Give you a good drink. It's in park, don't worry. Contact. Got a little bit of gallop. Need a high idle stick. Getting there. Ooh. Almost out of fire. Almost. Hey! Another drink? More fuel or less fuel? Let's try more. Thinking about it. Thirsty. Come on, baby. Hey! That was me. I don't know if we have an accelerator pump. Probably not. Carb seems a little sticky. Hang in there, starter. I can't decide if I hear flames coming out the exhaust. Man, come on, buddy. Good thing we got that on camera. Cool. If you're wondering if I'm a slow learner, the answer is absolutely. Well, how about it? Build up a little more compression. Wonder if this thing needs to be choked. Okay, how many different things are on fire right now? I can literally hear the battery cables. This is great. Well, after much attempt, I don't think that our valves are opening and closing very well. I wanted to check on exhaust restriction, but I don't know if that's going to be a problem because that whole muffler's gone. There is quite a trail of stuff that blew out, so that's a good sign there was fire going on. But I think that our valves might be a little sticky, so let's probably pull our valve covers off and we're gonna try the old PB blaster and a dead blow hammer trick. Got the driver's side valve cover off, and I hate to say it, but nothing over here really came as a surprise. You can see lots and lots of deep carbon on top of this head, but the good news is if we look at the end of the rockers, we can see that it was actually pumping oil. So that means that we were getting oil up to the top end. That's a great sign. So I'm going to turn this over with the starter, and we are going to watch to make sure all of our rocker arms are moving. Okay, everything looks good on this side. All of them seem to be moving just as fast as the rocker arms are, so it doesn't appear that any of them are moving too slow and not returning fast enough. That makes me wonder what the other side is like. At any rate, I'm glad to say that we've got good movement over here and that we are actually getting oil to the top of the rockers. Alright, it may be hard to tell, but the end of this rocker arm is down farther than this one, so that means that that valve is open right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that both valves are closed on each cylinder. Now you can see this is all the way up, and when they're all the way closed, I am going to hit the end of these rocker arms with a dead blow hammer, because they might be hanging over just a tick. They're hanging open just a tick. There might be rust on the mating surface of the valve where it meets the head. If there's debris or rust there, then that valve's not going to seal all the way, and we're not going to have compression. So this is all I'm going to do. And I just want to try to tap off any debris that could be on the edge of those valves. It sounds good when I'm hitting them. It doesn't sound like it's hard, it sounds like the valve actually moves a little bit. If they're hard, if it sounded like it was hard and I hit them up when I was hitting them, that would mean that the valve was probably stuck. But that's not our case here. All right, we saw that one go up and down. It's closed now. How about the one next to it? All right, that one's closed. And we're just gonna repeat this for each one of them, give them 10, 20 good taps. So as you can imagine, it's more of the same on this side. Looks pretty identical. Let's run the starter and watch our rocker arms and make sure every one of them's moving. Sure sounds like it, doesn't it? Can hear kind of a wheezing sound off of one of these cylinders here. So we're going to repeat the same thing on this side with the dead blow hammer, since all of them are moving. None of them look like they're stuck. They all look like they're moving equal to the speed of the rocker arm, so that's good. But like the other side, they could just have a layer of rust and crud on the valves that's keeping them from sealing. So we're just going to smack them around a little bit and see if we can get them to seat. So I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I tapped on all my valves, and most of them have a lot of slop in the rocker arms. So these are non-adjustable rocker arms, unlike the small blocks and big block Chevys. These just get torqued to spec. So I'm gonna go ahead and retorque them, and what I want to do, I have no idea if this is the right procedure or not, but I'm going to make sure each valve is closed when I torque it, and I'm going to torque it to 15 foot-pounds like the book says. All right, that one's closed. Yeah, we're right there. I'm going to check them all at any rate. Well, everything on this side is good, so we can probably assume everything on the other side is good. So let's try to throw some fire to it again and see what happens. All right, key is on. Do a little drink. Try it. Well, this is already better than last time. Acts like it's flooded. Hold the throttle open. Let's get a better battery. Okay, I've got the ignition off and I was turning some of them over and I noticed that the push rods aren't spinning on a couple. So I'm gonna try to help them to get them to spin. That one's not spinning. not spinning very well. Looks like you gotta have the valve open when you do it. Some of them are spinning quickly and some of them are not. Okay, you're closed, or open I mean. We'll give you some spins. Yeah, it really spins fast when you put a little tension on it with your finger. Check the other side. This one is not. There you go. That's getting better. I just need a little help. Okay, well, let's throw some more effort at it. All right, I removed and capped all the vacuum lines coming off the back of the carb, so let's see if we had a vacuum leak. That sounded a little happier. I really need to put a good carburetor on here. This is getting a lot better. Let me see if I can fill the bowls up. All right, bowls are full, carbs flooded, my hands are covered in gas, so this is perfect. Let's give it a whirl. It ran. It just ran. Let's get all of our wires out of our rocker arms. How does that sound? Do we have accelerator pump? Not in the slightest. Go figure. We probably don't have idle circuits either. Thus, mating our carb as a whole probably isn't working. Well, hey, that makes me feel a lot better. Now, can we maintain this? We're getting oil up to the top. That's a great sign. Too much gas, not enough? Idling is not something it feels like doing yet, which is understandable. If only I could keep it running. There's no doubt in my mind that if I had a better carb, it would actually run. Maybe that'll be one of our next steps. Are you flooded? Nope. Well, we proved it worked. We just need to make it work better now. We got a little smoke going on. What did we shoot out? It's hard telling. There's a lot of debris down there. Good amount of smoke, well that's good. This makes me feel a lot better about moving forward with it. Oh yeah, look, you can see all the oil that we were getting out of the rockers on this side. That's awesome, we're getting oil up to the top end. Cool. Well, now that we know that this one runs, let's focus a little bit of time on this guy. I have a feeling this one isn't gonna put up as much of a fight. That carburetor might even work, so let's see what we can get into. I already have a better feeling about this engine just by looking at it. The thing looks a lot less fuzzy, even though the carb still has about an 1/8 inch of dirt and grime on it. But all in all, it looks a lot cleaner than that 59 engine. I was wondering, when was the last year that Pontiac used this reverse flow cooling system? This is the first time that I've ever dealt with it. Obviously, it's got the tanks on the top and the bottom of the radiator, and it has these coolant lines coming out of the head. That one goes back to the heater core. Where does this one go? This one... Does that one not have one? Okay, so there's not one coming out of the head on this side. Where does this big one go? Okay, there's another heater core line coming out of the radiator, and this one just jumps from the water pump housing to the intake. Yeah, I wonder when they quit doing that. This is a first for me. There's gonna be a lot of firsts for me on these two cars. I've never dealt with Pontiacs. Well, I've dealt with a 55, but not to the extent of this one. So I am going to end up learning a thing or two, I believe. Well, let's get our plug wires marked and get our plugs pulled out, and let's shoot some oil down these cylinders before we really try turning it over. So I don't see this very often, but these plugs look just awesome. You can see the end of the porcelain there is a nice brown color. This thing was running quite nicely when it was parked, and they're all like that too. I don't see any cracks in the porcelain, so I don't think that we have any reason to change these plugs. Honestly, I'm gonna lube this engine and I'm gonna put them back in, because those look just about new. This one has a little bit of carbon on it, but there's nothing really scary about them. See, you can see the brown color on that one. Yeah, this engine was running well when it was parked, I would guess. Those plugs don't look like they have a lot of time. Neither does the rest of the ignition system from what I can see, but we'll get the cap off and we'll see what lays underneath. Just like we did the last time, we're gonna take some of this fogging oil and make sure we really drench these cylinder walls. That cylinder was up at the top, so it didn't take very much. All right, let's turn them over. Same as last time, I put a yellow dot on that balancer. And let's watch it while we turn it over. You can hear these belts crunching. Those are not going to last. That balancer has a lot of oil on it. Makes me think the front main seal's probably gone. There's one. It feels really good. I can actually turn it over quite quick. There's two. And three. All right, let's go the other direction. This turns over a lot nicer. There's one. Two. And three. All right, battery time. Wow, we're really blowing the budget on battery terminals here. They don't give those things away. All right, let's try this again. Just wonderful. You can see on this inner fender it's spitting out some of that fogging oil. That's good. The more we get out of there, the less likely we are to foul our plugs with it. Check out that glove moving from the compression coming out of the hole. That's what we like to see. Will it do it with the key? Do we have a key? Where's our key? Did we leave it in our trunk? Hey, hey. It is the stop sign shaped one. Okay. Got our oil light, our cold light. It must not. Alright, there we are. Let's throw this thing in park. Our ignition switch has seen better days. There's neutral. Our dash lights are throwing gang signs at us. There we go. We just needed to disrupt the old neutral safety switch a little bit. All right, let's get some spark. As much as I would like to be proved wrong, we are gonna go so far as to turn on the ignition and test for spark. Well, I put myself in harm's way and see if this is gonna do anything. Oh gosh, what happened? Oh, I need to have that hooked up. Okay, let's test. Nothing! Okay, well, let's check out some points. All right, what can we see? There's no way I'll be able to get that back one. Come on, little buddy. Focus. Okay. Jeez. Everything looks new. That rotor looks perfect. Okay. Well, let's turn the key back on and watch our points. First, let's just kind of slap them around. See if we can smack the crud off of the contacts. I didn't feel really good about that, but let's check. Key on. Okay. Hold that out of the way. They are not opening. They are barely opening. Huh. Must not be adjusted correctly. We have power down there. That's good. But yeah, them suckers are not opening. We must not be adjusted. Okay, well, let's adjust them then. All right, just like the 59, the spec on the 60 is 16 thousandths. So let's get it spun over to a point where the points should be open. That looks about right. I need to find it again. There we are. Is this clockwise or counterclockwise? I don't know. I really need to cut up a Allen wrench to do this. I don't need one that's so long. What a struggle. The adjustment is so fine, it's hard to tell what you're doing. So I'm going clockwise right now, and that doesn't feel right. Counter. I gotta see something. Counterclockwise opens the points gap. Too tight. A little further. Too loose. Ooh, that might be dead on. Yeah, let's call that good. All right, now let's watch it. I got them out and they don't look very good. So for what new points cost, we're just gonna put new ones in it. The contacts look not all that whippy once we got it taken apart. So new points, new condenser, we'll leave everything else. The inside of the cap looks really good, so we can run that. That'll save us a few bucks, but yeah, this is what's most likely to leave us stranded anyhow, so may as well replace it. So this is going to be fun to figure out, but there is a burnt wire all the way from the generator to the cowl. I think it goes through the cowl. It might go over to that driver's side quarter or inner fender. At any rate, we'll see. Oh, heck yeah. I was wondering where that went. Oh, that's why it fell off. Well, that's our missing oil breather, but the little tangs are broken off of it. Hopefully those aren't down in the engine. Can we see them? I can't see them. So we're gonna do the right thing and not look any harder. Okay. All right, once again, we are adjusting points to 16 thou. So we learned that, did we learn that turning that counterclockwise makes them open. And if that's true, then we need to turn it clockwise because it looks like they're way too open right now. This is not a super angle. Yeah, geez, I can barely turn that. Am I gaining anything? Am I going the right way? I'm gonna have to two-hand this. Okay, so turning it clockwise closes the gap. I'm gonna have to move the camera. Okay. When I shove that in there, I can see the arm move, so that means it's too tight. So we're gonna open it just a little, go counterclockwise. Just a tick further, we're gonna call it good. All right, well, let's put the dwell meter on it and really dial it in. All right, just like last time, we are shooting for a 30-degree dwell angle. Let's watch. Everything out of the way, looks like it. We have 10. So, what happens if we open it? Further? Wider. Other way? Oh yeah, we gotta go counterclockwise. There's 15 and some change. Gosh, I love doing this. 20. A little over 20. Almost 25. Almost 25 again. Took over 25. Man. 27. 29. Close enough. We're gonna learn from our mistakes here. See that broken vacuum line? That would cause us a lot of headache when trying to start this. That's a full port vacuum leak. So for the time being, we're gonna cap that. All right. Key on. Let's watch it. Yep. Might be hard to see. It's there. There's a lot of light right down on it, but there is definitely spark. Okay. Let's put some fuel in it. All right, we'll double check that we're in park. Key on. And contact. You want your choke closed? I don't really have that ability. More fuel? Doesn't really want to that badly, so let's do what we did last time and take that vacuum line off and plug that, because that could potentially be a giant leak. All right, giant 3/8 vacuum plug, or vacuum line is plugged. Now let's try it. Not very willing. Not very excited. Poor thing. Hey! More fuel, please? Oh, come on, starter. Okay, either new starter or new battery time. All right, ignition's on. Bowls are filled. Let's see. Well, I'm gonna call that a success. How about that? That sounded like it was hitting on all 8. We have an accelerator pump? No, we don't. It probably drank everything that was in the bowls. I think it likes having the bowls filled up. I think that's the trick to it. All right, we don't have the key on yet, but let's try this with the electric fuel pump and see if this thing floods like crazy. Doesn't seem to. Okay. Let's try it. Now we don't have an accelerator pump, so we're gonna have to use the bottle. That's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. Key on. Give it a drink. That wasn't a very good one, but okay. Pump. Contact. Wants to. Glad to see this thing's not much worse for the wear after getting eaten by a fan. Let's try it again. I actually had to shut it off because it kept running. Not bad. Did I flood it? Maybe. Great. Now it's literally time to do everything else. Hey, you know what we need to do? We need to test the transmission. Make sure that's strategically placed. We'll probably run over our fuel supply, but that's okay. We'll do ignition first. Ignition. On. Fuel pump. Mostly on. Contact. What a treat. Okay, so I don't have any brakes at all. So what's our pattern? Park. Neutral. Alright, we're gonna go for drive. Oh yeah, it lurks. Okay, how about reverse? Oh yeah, we got it right now. Yep. There's neutral. Reverse. Oh yeah. That's responsive. Drive. Yep. goes up. It also wants to go forward. Yeah, it kind of inches forward. Okay. Radio! Radio, come on! Nope, nothing. We tried. Cool! It moves! Alright. What do we do next? We work on our water pump. Now, last time I bought one of those, it was like a week away. So, I better do that right now, but hey, we're gaining. I can't believe it moved. This is great. Check it out, got some parts. Got our new water pumps from Speedway. Some brake pieces, some lower radiator hoses. Got a new 1406 carb for the 59 because that's as close as a new carb as you're going to get. Let me show you something on this original Carter here. It's going to be hard to hear and tell, but you can hear that thunking noise. See all this travel and this bracketry? That is up and down play on our throttle shaft bushings. So that was going to suck air. Got some antifreeze, a bunch of brake hardware kits, hose clamps, tune-up pieces, what have you. So I got the 1406 600 CFM electric choke installed on here, not permanent, but I'm putting this on here because I want to see how well this thing runs with a complete tune-up and good carburetor before I put any more money into it. So the oil is topped off, the ATF is topped off. We have our tank and our electric fuel pump, our electric choke hooked up. So let's prime our fuel system. Turn the key on. And give it a whirl. I don't think we got any fuel yet. Now we got fuel. Oh, this is going great. Okay, let's check for spark. We have spark. Do we need our fuel pump yet? No, we still have fuel in there. Man, I don't know what this thing wants from me. Are we down on compression? I don't know. I'm gonna put a stronger battery in it, try it again. All right, new battery, take 2. Electric fuel pump engaged. Ignition. And crank. Just wanted to turn faster. One and a half. half, 1, 1.5 turns out. Dang it, not again. You might not have been able to see that. We have a vacuum leak. I saw a backfire out of the front base of the carb there. Also, the bottom of the car might be on fire, but that's neither here nor there. Huh. Yeah, because when it backfired, I saw it sneeze. No, not to mention fire came out from the base of the carb. Okay, well, I guess I'll be patient and wait for my actual carb gasket to get here in, what day is it? 8 days. Oh, okay. That's the end of this for a little bit. Really, I can't be too upset. O'Reilly's has been really, really good with parts availability on these things, and if it's something that I don't expect them to have on hand, I tend to keep it on hand myself. It just so happens that these carb gaskets that I need for this 59 and the 60, they are pretty specific to the 59s and the 60s, I believe. I deal with a lot of mid-60s cars, and the mid-60s Pontiacs have different base gaskets than the 59s and the 60s. So all in all, I ordered a bunch of parts for the 60, and they're all gonna be here in a couple days, if not today. But I just have to wait a little bit for that carb gasket. So I guess we'll move on to the 60 now. So since we can't work on the 59, let's see what we can do with the 60. The mailman brought us some goodies today. Looky here. Brand spanking new. Ooh, don't ruin that. 55 to 63. Water pumps. 3 of them. Each of the cars got one. Got one for the shelf now. So, check out these nifty little pliers I got at an estate sale. They're made for these here wire clamps. Come on, little buddy. Am I strong enough to do this? There we are. Yeah, check that out. It grabs the ends of them. I'll show you up here better. Watch this. No idea what they're called or how much they cost. Here we go. We'll get a better bite here. Beautiful. Look at that. Oh, now my petcock's actually draining. That's nice. Gonna get this bottom one off. Walk it out, I'll walk it out, I'll walk it out, I'll walk it out. There we go. Golly, I don't know what I paid for these things, but it was not enough. That makes my life so easy. Okay, I'm gonna get a big 90-degree hose pick and kind of pry the hose off of there without damaging the neck. Man, got rubber transmission cooler lines. Son of a gun, I need to get those replaced, don't I? Those aren't gonna last. Sometimes I need to be a little bit smarter. My petcock wasn't draining very well. Took the cap off, and now it's just pouring out of there. So we're gonna wait for that to do its thing so we don't create a giant slick underneath the car. So what do we need for our fan? 9/16? Maybe half. We'll grab both. You are seriously playing yourself if you don't have ratcheting box end wrenches. 1/2 inch. Thought they usually were. Don't do a finger delete on the fan blade. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks like a date night after Taco Bell and 18 beers. It looked pink when it was coming out though. I thought that was strange. What manufacturer uses pink antifreeze? Is that Caterpillar? At any rate, we're gonna end up replacing all the hoses on here. We're gonna see if we can get by with leaving the heater core, because I don't want to replace that too badly. But yeah, all the hoses need replaced, so they're probably, or that's probably gonna get, I would guess, what's the word I'm trying to say? Universal antifreeze put back in it. I'm gonna have to get a ratchet. I can't quite bite on those now. Here I go talking up ratcheting wrenches, and I can't even use them for this application. I mean it though. Stand by it. Ratcheting wrenches and 90-degree needle nose pliers are life changers, man. Man, those don't look like they want to come off very badly. Okay, we'll try it, I guess. All right, let's try the Free-All today. And we're gonna try the double box end wrench method. I have this awesome 6-point boxed end wrench that my in-laws were kind enough to get me, because I could not find one anywhere for the life of me. Look at that, it's just falling off. Not bad. Not that I think the Free-All did that by any means, but I can't believe we got that fortunate. Really, I can't believe that we got this fortunate with the way that most of the things have gone on these cars, honestly. I was expecting this to be way more difficult than it is. Not to say I'm not trying, but things could have fought a lot harder. Yeah, that's not so bad. That's the great part about, in this year, Pontiac not using dissimilar metals on their water pumps. Is I don't know what they were thinking when they decided to use an aluminum water pump housing with a cast iron water pump. Well, I do know what they were thinking. They were saving weight, but there was collateral damage with that decision, that's for sure. On the later Pontiacs that have an aluminum housing, this can really be troublesome because the bolts and the studs tend to get stuck in the housing and then coincidentally break. Yeah, this one's coming. This wasn't nearly as daunting as I thought it was going to be. I can't wait to see what kind of stuff we find behind this water pump though. I think they started using the aluminum housings when they changed their water pump design in '64. I don't know, at least the 65 that I worked on that had the different water pump had an aluminum housing. And that was that 421 and that for that 2+2. Boy, this Free-All, it's good stuff, but it is gooey. Unlike PB Blaster, which seems to have the consistency of brake fluid. All right, number 4. Oh gosh. That couldn't have gone any better, could it? I don't know why we're still using a wrench and not a ratchet, but it was already in my hand, so here we are. Let's see what's hiding back there. Come here, little buddy. Got the washer. Okay, that needs a little persuasion. What if we just smack you around a little? That's all it took. There we go. All right. Well, the inside doesn't look bad. Most of the gasket came with it, so that's nice. Okay, yeah, as we can see here, there's our weep hole behind our bearing, and once the bearing starts to eat the dust, it lets antifreeze go past it, and it leaks out of that weep hole. So that signifies a bad water pump. Cool. Well, that's not so bad. let's get that mating surface cleaned up, get that antifreeze out of there, and then get a new one glued on. All right, just stick a rag down there. Try to get that loose antifreeze out so it doesn't interfere with the sealing of our gasket. At least get the level down below that. I got my gloves getting soaked now, so I got that going for me, which is nice. If I really wanted to go nuts, I'd pull these studs out so I could really clean the surface, but I think that we're gonna be able to maneuver around them. Man, that antifreeze does not look like antifreeze anymore. I got something poking me. That looks pretty good. We got our antifreeze level down below our housing. Sweet. Good enough. Alright, let's get the rest of that gasket off there. Check that out one time. Big old piece of belt stuck in our balancer pulley here. There we go. Look at that. That would have made some noise. Bye. Boy, those are scuzzy, man. You can tell where all the antifreeze is running down on the belts. So I'm not gonna say I'm the be-all end-all of doing things the right way, but I took my gasket and put a thin layer of water pump and thermostat housing RTV on it, a very thin layer, just barely enough that it'll smush out once I put the water pump on. So there's the weed pull on the water pump. We have to make sure that goes towards the bottom. And then this guy should just slide right on. Gosh, this is so much easier than the later water pumps. There we are. We're home. We'll get all of our fasteners hand tight until we got that gasket snug. Let it sit for a while, and then we'll torque it down. I'm changing the oil in the 60 here, and I almost feel bad about doing it. The oil looked good, it was black, but you know, no water in it. But check out this neat old AC Delco, well, actually just AC oil filter. I'm gonna feel bad about disrupting it because that thing is wickedly awesome. Check out this goofy exhaust. It's got a crossover pipe from the driver's side manifold over to this distribution on the passenger side. So all the exhaust from the driver's side comes into here and then gets piped out one single pipe out the back. There's our road draft tube. You don't see those anymore. Here's our gigantic, I believe they're called roto-hydromatic transmissions, and I think it's a 4-speed auto, but don't quote me. I'm still yet to drive the thing, so we'll see how many gears it has, and hopefully how many gears it has all of them still, because I think I've got another one, but I really don't want to replace it if I don't have to. All right, got our new Wix filter thrown on there. Only the best house brand oil, but I do make sure that I put zinc additive in all of these engines because these are flat tappet camshafts, and very few motor oils anymore have the proper lubrication that flat tappet cams need. I mean, even, I know a lot of people say put Shell Rotella in these flat tappet engines. It has zinc, but it's not the right kind of zinc for these old engines, and I just love these tune-up manuals. Check this out. We'll go to 1960, all excluding Safari, engine crankcase, oil capacity, 5 quarts, add 1 quart for new filter. So are they assuming that people are doing oil changes without adding filters back then? I don't know, but I thought that was pretty neat. This is probably what, half a quart, so we'll throw another half a quart down the app and we'll call that good. I've come to my least favorite part of these projects, brakes. So these old brake fittings are Usually one of two sizes. Crescent wrench or locking pliers. I don't care how good a crow's foot or flare wrench you have, it's usually not good enough to get these broke loose. Oh, look at that. Jeez, that didn't put up much of a fight. I didn't even look inside here. Let's see what we can see, eh? These crescent wrenches are my absolute favorite tool for doing brakes. Oh, doggies. I would just have a litter of kittens if I opened this and saw it was full. Wheel? Bone dry. Okay. So I needed to get this this master cylinder and this brake booster taken off because I ordered new ones, but I need to, well, I ordered a new master, but nobody makes new brake boosters. You got to get them sent off to get rebuilt. So I pretty much need to do that before I do anything. That's going to be the big bottleneck in this project. That, and likely, well, no, that can't be a bottleneck because nobody makes a fuel sending unit. So my fuel sending unit in my gas tank is just going to have to be fine. There's no other option. Okay, well, let's get that master off. Okay, got it loose from the brake pedal. It was just a nut that was holding it on there, and I noticed this, well, I noticed it before, but I had forgot about this big vacuum reservoir. It's got a hose going from it to the brake booster. So before we get any further there, that needs to come off, because if we damage that vacuum reservoir at all, we're probably hosed, because I doubt highly that anybody makes a new one anymore. Okay, I think we just popped it loose. I'm sorry, my cameraman work is subpar when I've got to do this kind of stuff. Okay, little buddy. Let's see what we can see. All right. So there's the linkage that went to the brake pedal. It just goes through a loop and had a nut on the other side. So, what is holding the master on? Is that all it is? Is that rubber bushing? Bushing, but that may be all it be. Do you thread out? Maybe if all this stuff wasn't in the way. Doesn't seem like it threads. It also doesn't want to pull back at all. I gotta put this camera down. I'll let you guys know what I find. So it seems like there's something inside of that booster that I can't get to. And I'm not really nuts about taking that booster apart, so I think I'm just gonna let the rebuild company deal with the booster and the master. So I'm gonna take off any pieces that could potentially get lost and not get back to me, and take a video of where everything goes and send the entire shooting match down to Lincoln Clutch and Brake and have them rebuild it. Well, then I won't have to worry about my replacement master cylinder not being correct. So let's just go about it that way. Check out what other neat info we've got. 60 overall chassis length. Man, 220 inches, what a yacht. 800 by 14 tires, 1-inch master cylinder bore, 1 3/16 front wheel cylinder bore, and 1-inch rear cylinder rear wheel cylinder bore. That's a handy bit of information because I got asked that at the parts store when I was ordering wheel cylinders. Now I know with confidence. Check it out, we got trinkets. We got both of our brake shoes. We've got our inner and outer wheel bearings, wheel cylinders, more tune-up parts to keep on the shelf. We have a master, which we may or may not use. Well, we could use it on the 59, but we need to confirm that the booster is good on that car. Some belts, we got shorted a couple of them. Fuel pump, the correct R45, not R45S, but R45 plugs for the 59. As you might recall, it's got really short plugs on it. Electrode doesn't really stick out. Here is what we really needed for that 59 as well. The oil filter. It doesn't have a normal spin-on type filter, canister style. Super impressed they were able to order it. Brake hoses. Oh yes. Positive battery cables. One box of hardware. Thought I ordered more than that. Maybe it's back ordered. What number is that? 4020. Good tractor. I think I only have one box. Now hold the phone. Is this just the hold downs? Yeah, so I need another box of this. I need 4020 times 2. Maybe I ordered it, maybe I didn't get it yet. Yeah. New battery cables for the 2 cars, 1 for stock. Oh, we've got 5 wheel cylinders, that's right. Because we ordered 6, because when I was at the store, wasn't sure if the rears were 15/16 or 1 inch, but they are 1 inch. So I need to figure out which one is 15/16 and which one is 1 inch. Okay. Well, let's get some wheels tore off of that and see what lays underneath. So the driver's front came off pretty easy. You just pop that cap off with a hammer and a chisel. And then there's a cotter pin that holds that castle nut on. Those usually aren't tight. And that whole drum came off, just slid off. And I marked this left front because, as you'll remember, these studs have left-hand threads, and I am going to assume that the back driver's side drum is the same case, because back in the 60s and prior, early 60s I should say, for some reason a lot of the auto manufacturers put left-hand threaded studs on the driver's side because I guess they thought that the lug nuts were going to loosen themselves while driving. But we know that's not the case. So got the drum off, and this little guy was slid onto the spindle, and that is the race for the back wheel bearing. And I guess I realized it when I went to get parts, but these wheel bearings are ball bearings. They're not tapered roller bearings, they're ball bearings. So that looks like the race for the inner ball bearing. So looks like it's in good shape. I'll probably reuse it again if my new bearings did not come with one. So I got it all sprayed off with brake clean so I can see the orientation of all of my springs and take pictures of it, because as good as I think I am, I never remember exactly how everything is oriented. This is probably one of the easier brake drum setups I've seen. We only have these 2 springs, the hold down springs, and then the spring at the bottom with the adjuster right below it. So maybe I could remember it, but rather be safe than sorry. Another thing I like to do first off is chip away all the old stuff around the brake fitting and then spray it down liberally with Freol, so maybe I have a chance at getting that loose without breaking anything. Well, let's move to the back. Well, I got good news and I got bad news. Good news, the drum, it moves. Bad news is it's got such a mean lip on the back side that I cannot pull it off. So the shoes must have wore a real nice lip around the edge of the drum. I can get to the adjuster on the back side, but I cannot spin it. It's seized up. I can't even spin the one up front, and I've got clear access to it. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna try my darndest to drill out the back side of these hold down pins, because those are what's holding the shoes on. If I can get those broke free, then I may have a chance at getting the drum slid off the shoes far enough. Either that or the shoes will just come with the drum when I try to pull it off. So if I drill out the pin on each side, then in theory the only spot where it can be stuck at is up top here, but that might give it enough slack that I can really get on the back side of it and pull it off. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a punch and try to punch a mark in the center of each of these pins, and then probably take one small drill bit and then one drill bit the diameter of that head, which looks like about a 1/2 inch, and try to drill that sucker out. So wish me luck, because destroying these drums really is not even an option right now, because I cannot buy new ones. I have to get these existing drums off so that I can get them turned, because I cannot find new ones anywhere. So extreme caution with just enough force is what I'm gonna have to do. All right, my punch. Try to line it up in the middle. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right, let's try. What's one that I'm not gonna care if I ruin? Something really obscure. 7/64ths. I don't foresee myself having to use that very often. Might be on the small side, but we'll try it. All I'm trying to do is drill a pilot. I just want a pilot hole so that my big bit has a good hole to drill into. Wow, these things eat. This is the Warrior brand Cobalt drill bit set from Harbor Freight. I've been really pleased with it. We don't need to go the entire diameter of the head. Let's try 17/64ths. It's just one step above 1/4 inch. Now that we've got a good pilot drilled. Boy, that went far. Nice. That looks ugly as all get out, but the head's about gone. Woo. Hey. I've pretty well ruined the head of it. As you can see, we can see daylight on the back side. So I'm gonna grab my punch and I'm gonna try to shove that all the way through the hole. Do you know what I'm saying? Pert near. Pert near. Can't believe this is working. Yeah, I can. Look at that. That pin is all the way in now. We didn't even booger up our hole for our hold down pin. Let's do that on the other side and see if we can get this drum pulled off. Boy, this might be the smartest thing I've ever done in my life. Aside from getting married. That was the smartest thing I've ever done in my life. Man, that one is not going to be fun to get to. I don't know about all this. It's way in there. I can't really drop this spring out. No, I don't want to take all that shit apart. Well, let's try now. See if we can pry on him at all. Did we gain anything? Yeah, because it's definitely sliding off that hub farther. Oh, but dang. So where was the gap in between? On the other side, it was slightly left of center. Man. This might be a job for the 90-degree drill attachment. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna grab it. Not gonna work. What I got is this punch that I filed again. Not filed, ground. It's really pointy now. I'm gonna try to get this behind the head of that pin and basically pound the head of it off. This is a really poor approach here. Getting my iron intake for today. Did I get it? Yeah, where'd it go? Where's the other end at, huh? Come on, I want to see. I don't know where it went, but at any rate, it's gone. Okay. That went better than anticipated. Well, you know what, guys? I was feeling really good about myself until about right now. That's still... I don't know if I gained a whole lot. Not really. Okay, I gotta regroup. I gotta think. What else can I do? What can be holding that on? There's nothing at the bottom holding it on anymore, I don't believe. I could be wrong though. I've been wrong before. Doggone. It is on there. Well, I got it, and I'll tell you what I did. I had my pry bar behind there putting tension on the drum while I smacked the back side of this ridge here with a hammer. Oh yeah, now it's coming. All it took was some tension and some percussion. Well, maybe I didn't even have to get those pins beat off of there. Well, maybe it's a good thing I did, because everything's starting to come. There we go. Oh. All right. Well, you can see what I was talking about. Here's the back side of that pin that I drilled out. There's where it was holding down. So that in turn loosened up the whole works pretty much. Oh, there's our old liner. Wonder if that was really stuck. Ooh. Not terribly, but there's not even that much of a lip on there. Wonder if it was probably just the liner that we were fighting. Yeah, we were probably just pulling, yeah, we're just pulling the liner off of the backing here. Okay, well, that makes me happy. We didn't disrupt this surface at all, so we should be able to have those turned no problem. Yeah, there's not much of a lip. We're gonna be okay. Woo! Yeah, not a lot going on here. Not much different except for the backs have a spreader bar, and then on the back side here is our piece for our emergency brake. But other than that, really similar to the front. So with the help of some heat, I got my brake hose taken apart, had a locking pliers up here, and the ever reliable crescent wrench up on the nut. Came loose after, I don't know, a minute of MAP gas. I got one bolt out of this front wheel cylinder, and the second bolt, which is about here, is directly in line with the spindle. I cannot get a wrench on it, so I need to take off the entire backing plate, which looks like it's these two bolts and that bolt up here. So we'll give that a shot, I guess. Great success. Got my wheel cylinder off. After I got my backing plate off, I just took off that bolt and then took the nuts off of these two. And I did not notice, but that holds this bracket on for the inner tie rod. So that's interesting. So now we're just all loosey-goosey in here. But great, that came apart no problem. Now it can start going back together. Check it out, we got some smoke in here. I was working on these two little fellas. This one is running really good. I had it running for about an hour the other night. Didn't get hot. Near as I know, it maintained oil pressure. It didn't knock or anything. I got a few of my coolant leaks tied up. Got all my new hoses on. Fuel pump is working. I replaced it. So I've got the fuel tanks soaking with the proprietary blend of chlorine gas. That's for that 66 Red Grand Prix. Here's the one out of this 60. They are full of vinegar and CLR, and I would highly not recommend that. I'm gonna try citric acid next time. But it's working. It's super caustic, but it's working. I got all of the brakes put back together, got them adjusted, what is it? About one turn for the fronts, spin it one turn, and 1.5 on the backs. I had to get all of the drums turned because nobody makes them. I had to also, don't look at that, had to also buy NOS wheel seals on eBay. So if you got one of these, there's the part number you need. And National made them with that part number, but that part number does not cross, and O'Reilly's doesn't carry them anymore. National doesn't make them. I don't know what was going on. But at any rate, I have my brakes all tidied up. I'm still waiting for my brake booster and master cylinder for both of these. They're getting rebuilt. Same with one for the 66 2+2. I also got my Sending unit cleaned up to my liking. The cork is still on there. I have no idea if it's actually gonna give me a level, but I can't get a new one, so I'm just gonna go with it. I'm waiting for a new sock to get here. Those socks are replaceable. Classic Industry sells them, so that's in the mail. So that's clean enough to get dunked back in the tank. This cleaned up quite nicely in a vinegar bath. I was surprised. And the piece de resistance, this 59's running. So I got the wrong spark plugs for it initially. I got R45S's, and these call for R45s, just R45s. They are different. I got an Edelbrock carburetor on there. It's a 600 CFM with electric choke, 1406. And I don't like what I had to do, but it seems to work. I have 2 carb gaskets. You can only really see one. One of them is super thick. What is that, like a 1/4 inch thick gasket that has these brass bungs around the bolt holes, but the troubles with the brass bungs is that they don't sit flush. So I had an air leak underneath the carburetor, so I took a flat gasket. I've got that part number here. I'm sure that nobody cares that I do, but it's important to me. There's that G14554 Molly. I put that on the bottom. It's a really, really thin paper flat gasket, and that seems to have got it to seal with that thick gasket. I tried only using that Molly gasket, but that did not fly because it would not allow me full range of motion with my butterflies. My butterflies were hanging up on the front. So I basically used that thick gasket as a spacer, and now I've got full range of motion and good return. So that's the first time I've ever had to use 2 gaskets. I'm not really hyped about it, but it doesn't seem to leak. So we are just gonna run it. Put our positive cable on, hook our fuel pump up. For some reason, I don't think my ignition switch is working. Yeah, I got no cranky on it. Check that out, huh? The thing's got no exhaust on it and just a ton of blow-by right now. I think this thing shows like 100-something thousand, so I'm sure that it's good to roar out, but it really needs a few heat cycles to help get the ring set. But it's still probably gonna smoke like a freight train. Seems responsive. I gotta adjust my idle, but not bad. Not bad at all. And I did have it running earlier, and even with the flat tires, I was able to get it to rock forward and backward. So I assume that my transmission is going to be good enough to move it around. And that helps me justify putting more money into this, because if that transmission was junk, I mean, I've got another one that I can try, but there's just nobody that works on these things anymore. Correction, people can, but I hear that the rebuild kits don't come with any, like hard steel parts. So if you have a drum or something that's messed up, you pretty much have to find a parts transmission to rebuild it with, which I have, but I just feel a lot better throwing brakes and, suspension work and whatever else I do at this thing when I can actually see it idle at a relatively low RPM. So next up, I need to probably change the oil and all my hoses so that I can actually run this for an extended period of time. I think that's going to be what I do next. Service the engine, replace all my hoses, put belts on it, because I would really like to watch this thing sit here and run for an hour. That's what I did with that 60. It worked well. The battery's dead right now, or else I would start it, but the thing seriously sat here and just idled on its own for an hour at like 800 RPMs. So I can't ask for much more than that. It sounds like this thing is going to do the same, but golly, there is so much smoke in here. I'm going to have fans at both ends of the building if I stand any chance at living. Yeah, all in all, I'm super pleased with it. I can't believe how rare this car is, as well as that 60. I can't remember the production numbers on the 59, but there were 17,060 Bonneville convertibles, and then I think there were even less built with bucket seats. I don't remember the production number on this thing. It's like 40 of them were built with bucket seats, but still, the 59 convertible is a really low production number, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing yet, but it's here, it's clean, it's solid. Maybe I'll have a video on it, maybe not. But yeah, time to throw a few more dollars at this thing. We'll see what happens. Got the 59 running. Gonna let it run for a while. Surprised it's not smoking any more than it is. That thing's gonna help a lot. Checked all of our fluids. Got all the belts and hoses replaced. Watching our antifreeze here. Still has the old oil in it. We might do a VG oil treatment on it, but that might not be necessary because it's really not smoking that much. Yeah, all belts and hoses are in place. We've got just a smidge of blow-by coming out of that valve cover. It might just be moisture, but it's pulling off of the new fuel pump now out of our jerry can. Gonna try to get it to burp itself here. Got my temp gauge, and I don't think that I've got, no, I've just got idiot lights. We're cold still. Yeah, we just got lights, we don't have gauges. So long as I can see oil coming out of that rocker arm up front there, I'll be pretty happy. All in all, it's pretty quiet. I'm surprised. All right, been running for about a half hour now. Staying nice and cool. Have a little bit of blow-by out here, but it's really not bad, especially compared to the 60. Vacuum's holding nice and steady. Our RPMs are probably 800-900. It's not blowing a bunch of exhaust. No lights on, or there's no lights on the dash that are on, so if our dummy lights do work, then all systems appear to be happy. We're probably closer to 900 RPMs. We could stand to bring that down a little bit. I could still see oil running across the top of that rocker down there, so that's a great sign. I wonder if our power steering works. Oh yeah. One finger. Horn. 1982 Colorado inspection. I don't remember what the sticker said. '84. Oh my, isn't that something? is too cool. Alright. What gear are we in now? Neutral? Try to bump it in and out of gear without killing ourselves. Oh yeah, definitely. That's a great sign. We don't really have dash lights. Anything? Oh, no clock. We tried. No radio. I don't know what else we got here. Oh, our wipers are wiping. Holy shit. That was an awful sound. I shouldn't have done that. I'm quite happy with this motor. Oh, which gear do you like to be started in? Thought it was neutral. Not bad at all. Well, now I can justify doing brakes. Boy, did I learn a lot over the last couple days. This guy here has been a learning experience. So these Delco Moraine boosters were built from, I think, 59 to 61. Both of the cars have them. Power brake boosters, of course. And nobody makes a new booster, so these had to get sent off to Lincoln Clutch and Brake in Lincoln, Nebraska and get rebuilt. And they had new masters available there, so I picked up one of those. Well, two of them, I guess, for each of them. But the way that they go together is so incredibly, well, strange to me at least, because I'm not used to dealing with it, but this is how I got it back. There's the orientation when it's mounted, and this booster diaphragm has a piston on it, and that piston is identical to the one that's in the master cylinder. So when you get your new diaphragm or your brake booster back, it has this piston on it, of course, because it's built into the diaphragm. And when you get your new master, it comes with a piston inside of it. So this is where it got confusing for me. I wasn't sure what to do. So what I ended up doing is, here's a complete one right here. You can take the snap ring out back here, and then all you do is pull out this piston that comes in the new master. So you pull it out, you leave everything else in there, you don't touch it, and you put your new master without this piston in it onto the brake booster. And then you also need this O-ring that goes right here that came with the ones from Centric Parts. The Brake Best ones do not come with this here O-ring, but from Centric Parts they do. What was our part number on that? There's the Centric Parts part number. And I don't know what the Brake Best one is, but you can find that on O'Reilly's website. But yeah, that's all that you do, is you leave everything else in there. There's gonna be a rubber cup with like a flat brass washer on the back side of it that's probably gonna wanna come out with this when that comes out, but you make sure you just peel it off of there, stick it back where it's supposed to be, and then gently assemble it onto the brake booster. So that's what we have here. Also, I got, well, not in trouble, but I realized that nobody makes a fuel sending unit for this. So I kind of sort of rebuilt the old one. I let it sit in vinegar for about a week and then polished it up with some emery cloth, and it came out all right. I have no idea if the fuel sender part of it is going to work or not. Honestly, I really wasn't that concerned about it, but I need a way to pull fuel from the tank. So I found these new fuel socks available, and you can also get the new 5-hole gasket for the fuel sender where it goes into the tank. And those fuel socks are just pressed on. So what I did is I put the sender in a vise gently, well, gently, but with enough force to keep it from spinning, and then took some curved channel locks and just worked that back and forth until I was able to pull the old fuel sock off. So that was neat. I was digging on, where was I? OPGI, I think I was on their website looking for a new fuel sender, and I did not see one, but they offer the fuel socks. So I got some 5/16 and some 3/8 along with a stack of gaskets for next time. So if you can't get a new fuel sender for what you're working on, not all hope is lost, but hopefully you can at least get a new fuel sock for it. So at the very minimum, I will be able to pull fuel out of the tank now. And I don't know if my fuel level is going to work, but honestly, I'm not all that concerned. I know that you can get the senders rebuilt, but it's like, what, $400, and they got to send them off to New York and stuff like that. So for the sake of time, rebuilt that one, and we're just gonna roll the dice. So I got the fuel tank sitting over here. It's mostly full of vinegar and CLR, which does create just a little hint of chlorine gas. So maybe don't go that route, but allegedly it works well. So I'm gonna let that marinate for a while. I got the brakes bled. That was, I don't know. It wasn't terribly difficult. The good thing about these old drum brake systems when it comes to bleeding them is the fact that there's no proportioning valve. And since there's no proportioning valve, when they run out of pressure on one side, the piston inside of the proportioning valve won't be moving around, causing it to not, bleed on one side, either the front or the back. That thing was a pain because that piston inside of that proportioning valve got stuck, so I had to take the little brake light sensor deal out of it, get a pick in there, dig around, slide the piston inside of the proportioning valve back over in order to get fluid to the back brakes, because that's where it lost fluid at. Whereas this, just being a drum brake system, has no proportioning valve. And then I think did this thing have 1/4-inch brake lines all the way back? Man, I can't remember if those were 1/4 or 3/16 on the back. They're all 1/4, okay. So yeah, it just had 1/4-inch line everywhere. So it bled fairly easy. I just took a pry bar and jammed it between the brake pedal and the edge of the seat, so I was holding the master open while I was bleeding it. And then initially I took my little Mighty Vac pump and bled it on the passenger back quarter, got fluid back there, and then once I got fluid back there, I was able to just pump the pedal for the rest of it and get fluid everywhere I needed it. So allegedly I have pedal now. What else do I need to do? I got to get that gas tank done. And then we're gonna do this really cool and semi-scary BG engine oil treatment on this thing. It acts like the rings aren't seating because it smokes a lot. So we're gonna try the big BG engine treatment and hope that we don't blow this motor up or overheat it. And we'll see how that treats us. But yeah, for right now, I've got the brakes done. I need to do the engine treatment. I need to get the gas tank back in, and I need to work on the power top. We're able to get the motor freed up by hitting it with the dead blow hammer while Mark worked the top switch. And I wonder if I can show that to you right now. You can hear it, but it acts like it's out of fluid. Yeah, so the motor's spinning, but I don't think there's anything in it. So we'll work on that. We'll see if we can get that to operate. I'm semi-hopeful so long as all of our rubber lines are in good shape. So we'll see, but that's where I'm at on these things. Had this one running for about a half hour the other day. So it's time to get him up in the air and do brakes on that. And boy, do I love doing brakes on these things. I just bought a super neat brake flare kit, which I will debut on this thing per the recommendation of a couple people. The Master Cool 72485 hydraulic brake flaring tool. Easy for me to say. So I'm sure I'll have to use it on this thing, but we will see. Well, I never thought this day would come, but got the 59 sitting on all fours now. Check that out. Got some new tires on it. We rebuilt the brake system, which was, well, easier than it was on the 60. We actually did not have to replace, man, help me out here. We didn't have, I say that, why do I say we? I did not have to replace any of the hard lines, but I got the new rebuilt, well, it is a new Master, rebuilt booster on, and replaced all of the shoes, the rubber lines, new wheel cylinders. Was able to reuse most of the hardware except for the hold down pins, and then had the drums turned because nobody makes drums. They seem to work. I got spot cleared off of my windshield, spot cleared off of my seat. Let's see if this ignition switch wants to work today. Cool. All right. Neutral. Drive. Slow. Reverse. Super by any means. They are there. I really need to get out on the highway and lay on them is what I need to do. I really don't like having neutral between a forward and reverse gear. Yeah, that's that banging. Well, it doesn't help that we're on our high idle either. This thing has no exhaust. Well, I feel marginally good enough to take it to the car wash, because I am tired of leaning up against this thing and getting dirty. So I think that's going to be our first trip. Run it right down to the quarter wash and see what we can hit on the highway on our way down there. I don't know if that cold light ever shuts off or not. Oh, there it goes. This thing idles at like 800 RPMs. I am scared shitless right now. Let's take a look at him. First time outside under its own power since 1984. Can you believe that? Oh, wow. Poor gal needs a bath, huh? Well, let's go do just that. This is cool, but I am scared to death right now. Oh wow, there's second gear already. Alright, let's not hit the UPS man or this nice expensive pickup. Out of my way, I don't have insurance. Feels responsive. Oh great, somebody in front of me. Couldn't ask for anything worse right now. I am willing to sacrifice this transmission before I hit anybody. At least we have to go down the steepest hill in the entire town to get to the car wash. All right. I think I just felt it shift back into first. Well, worst case scenario, I can always pull off into this little field. I think I'm gonna be okay, honestly. Alright, let's get some 91 octane in this old gal. I'm almost gonna feel bad about this. 40 years of dust. Gone. This has got to be like $1 million worth of barn dust right here. I tell you what, I'm definitely a lot happier to have this thing clean. Oh my goodness, this thing is so cool. You get such a better look at the body lines now. Got the hubcaps popped on. What a beauty. Well, now we can see all the sins under the paint. I'm not sure which layer is more, well, this was probably more original. Well, is that clear? I'm not sure if that's clear coming off or what. But man, am I happy to have this thing clean. This was such a cool color when it was new. It's starting to look like a real car. I have to get the top down because this looks really dingy, but I'm pleased. Next up, interior. Away we go. Maybe I should have spent more time on the windshield, but it's all right. See how many gears this has. There's 2. plates on it. I don't need any more attention than what I already get. I also don't remember if I checked the differential oil. Yeah, I should probably put that on the list. We have 2 gears at least. This is all right. Well, will you look at him? He is down on all 4s. Got the tank cleaned out with the help of evap-o-rust and a pressure washer. And got our brand new Kenda tires put on there. Got my seat cleaned off. I probably should have cleaned the windshield too, but whatever. Seems like it's pulling out of the tank. I don't know if we're gonna charge or not. Anywho, I'm gonna get this warmed up. We'll pull it outside. Got my windshield cleaned off. Feels like I have brake pedal. Let's throw her into reverse. Oh, it does not have a lot of brake, although it does seem stuck now. There's the boss man. Boy, I didn't realize until the day this video is getting edited that you guys didn't get to see the after on this car. It's kind of dusty now, but golly, look how this thing cleaned up. This was the first car I have ever buffed. I used, what was it? I bought everything from Harbor Freight, used McGuire's buffing compound, and I used the blue and then I think the green pad for the DA, and it turned out pretty good. There's some goofy spots on the trunk where I started on the trunk, and I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea what I was doing, and I was going a little fast. So I turned down my speed once I got to the sides, and it turned out a lot better. We got thin in some spots, but that's to be expected. It actually looks pretty cool. And we've got a little thin on the hood. That might have been caused by me getting a little aggressive as well. But it is a much, much better looking car now. This thing is easy to look at. And check it out. It's got clean interior. This was probably a day in itself, no, a couple days, to get this interior cleaned and to get the chrome halfway polished. So it took probably 2 bundles of new rags to get everything wiped down, because it was all done by hand. This wasn't done with a pressure washer. This was done with an aerosol can and a rag, and I am pretty darn pleased with it. The door panels have wear down low. I'm looking for door panels, but I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to find them. And I was able to tell that the bottom of the seat got recovered, but it is what it is. All in all, it's not bad though. I mean, look at the detail on these seats and the door panels. It's just insane. And I was able to get new carpet for it. That changed the look of it immensely. It really made it look like a car again, because most of the carpet was ripped up and gone and torn to shreds. So for a couple $100 we were able to find almost the same color that kind of fit, and it really transformed the look of the vehicle. I couldn't be much happier with this. This has been some of the most fun I've ever had with brakes. These things aren't that much fun to do brakes on initially, let alone when half of the flares on your brand new brake lines don't seal. So went back and forth, checked every single line that I replaced, triple, double, quadruple, 10 times checked it, and I think I finally got them all to seal. We're gonna throw this thing in reverse first, see if the brakes work. Seeming like it might. I got the brake pedal adjusted at least to the point where the brake lights aren't on. So maybe I needed a little more throw in my pedal, but I pretty much backed up my adjustment as far as I could. It seemed to have helped a little, but there's still a bit to be desired. Man, this thing is dirty. Vital signs look good. Our oil light's not on, which shocks the hell out of me. I know that our cold and our temp light work. Fuel gauge is probably accurate at 1/4. We're charging-ish. Man, this thing, you gotta stand on this brake pedal though. This thing has blow by like nobody's business. See if the blinkers work. We can hit this old lady. Don't hit the old ladies. Better drive right by the village hall. Ah, the brakes are there, but not really. I'm not gonna get too carried away on my drive on this thing. This street's kind of downhill, so that scares the crap out of me. There's always park though. Oh, we're charging with a vengeance right now. We got our 14 volts or whatever the hell that is. Oh man, you gotta stand on it. We're gonna put you in low. Man, I don't know what I'm missing on this thing. All the parts are new. Newer as rebuilt as they can be. I even have the shoes adjusted really on the tight side. Unless I have another leak somewhere that I'm not seeing. This carb needs going through in a bad way. Thing has just a buttload of blow by. We're moving though. Plates say 1979. I don't think that the previous owner who bought it around 90 or so actually drove it. Oh man, these things do not feel good. Take out the wall, don't take out the wall. At least the power steering works well. It just acted like it didn't really want to have reverse very badly. Maybe it was just being on the hill. Okay, now it acts fine. I really want to park it outside. Man, you gotta stand on these suckers. There's something I'm missing here. Oh, ooh, I've got a wheel hang. That's what I got shaking. I told you my brakes were tight. it's really hanging up. Not good. Not good at all. Well, let's wash it. That'll help, right? Here he be after his bath. It just got the dirt sprayed off of it. Oh, that paint's flat. That would take some extreme buffing. But you can stand to be around the thing now. Look at all the mud that fell off it. Holy crap. Much gooder. Now I don't need to change my clothes every time I get near it. It's even got a little bit of shine left in it. Not much. This paint job is pretty awful, really. Not too many sins though from sitting in that barn all these years. Holy crap, do I have my work cut out for me here. Great. Let's see, we got some mud streaks going on the inside. Yeah, there's a lot to be done here. Oh no, I have to sit there. Man, looks like the morning after taco night. Not bad though. Now I can let it sit in the corner for another year. Well, I think I've gone as far as I'm gonna go with it. It's got some decent blow by, runs okay, but this entire car needs rebuilt. I'll probably work on the brakes some more, get those working just perfectly, but I need to maybe take the transmission out as well because it looks like it's got a front seal out on it too. So I'm gonna wait until I get my 2-post lift set up before I attempt anything like that. That transmission, it's a bit of a gusher. It's coming out of every seal, so I'm gonna wait until that lift is up to go any further with it. And as you may imagine, it's not very much fun putting this thing up on jack stands. I'd like to have a I'd like to have something a little bit stronger holding it up. Not to say that I'm gonna trust my handiwork with the lift totally, but it's hard to get my big head into those wheel wells when the thing's just on jack stands. So there you have it. Both of them run, both of them drive. The 59 just does it a little bit better than the 60. This thing's been sitting for, gosh, probably a month now. Are you gonna start? Gosh, that new carpet was well worth the money. Let's try 2 pumps. Don't make me look bad. So these cars have, that one has 116, this has 106, and this is such a better car. Not bad. Not bad at all. I would drive this thing anywhere. Here I thought that this one was going to be the problem child between the two of them, but boy was I sorely mistaken. Thanks again for watching. These two have definitely been a learning experience. I'm really glad they're on the road again. Well, on the road again, moving around again. Probably going to keep the 59. The 60 is going to go off to its new home. Let me know if you need it worse than I do. Thanks for watching.